last 2 decades, our family has raised many dogs. We've taken in rescues, adopted puppies, and provided a home for strays. These dogs have all had their own unique issues, and they've all taught me a lot about things you should never do with your dog. Don't feel bad if you do some of these things with your pet. They are all common activities that a lot of pet owners do with their pups. I've had bad experiences with all of these activities, or firsthand experience knowing someone whose dog has had a really bad time doing some of these things. These activities aren't things that we would necessarily think of as dangerous, but they do pose serious health risks for our dogs. The first one, and I know it seems pretty harmless, is do not let your dog run with a stick in their mouth. As a matter of fact, you really shouldn't even throw a stick for your dog. And I know that seems probably foolish to some of you, but just hear me out. Hundreds of dogs are treated every year for stick impalements. We don't let children run around with lollipops in their mouth for a reason, and the same care should be taken with your dog running with things in his mouth that could potentially stick into his throat or his mouth. If your dog has a stick in his mouth and he stumbles or trips, it could be a fatal accident. Likewise, if you throw a stick for your dog and it sticks into the ground and your dog's running to get it, he could impale himself on that stick. I actually had a friend whose dog did that and it impaled him through his chest, and thankfully there were no severe injuries and it didn't puncture any of his organs, but there was a surgery involved, anesthesia, the dog had to be stitched up. It was a really big ordeal, a very scary experience for both dog and owner, and also very expensive. So the best thing to do, best rule of thumb, just use something else, a ball, a rope, something like that to play with your dog. Second is do not walk your dog on a retractable leash. When they were first introduced, these leashes seemed like a great idea. People went crazy for them. The pet industry exploded with all these different options available. When there is open space, your dog can have extra room to walk and sniff, but always restrained by a leash. So it seemed like a really great idea, but pet owners and veterinarians soon realized the dangers that these products carry. According to Consumer Reports, in 2007, there were 16,564 hospital-related injuries associated with leashes, and that could be anything from grabbing the leash and getting burned. If you grab the leash and it continues to pull, people have lost fingers. There's been serious lacerations and even the loss of fingers because of that. So if you want to see that research, just click the link below the video, and that will take you to the Consumer Reports study that was done on that, and some of those statistics that show that leashes, these kinds of leashes, are extremely dangerous. Dogs and humans can become tangled in these leashes really easily. If you try to grab the leash, as I said, you could get burned, those severe lacerations, and those leashes are known for malfunctioning. So you think you're going to be able to stop your dog, but you don't. He takes off at a full run, ends up grabbing you, pulling you down. People have dislocated shoulders because dogs have yanked on leashes like that. So there's a lot that can go wrong with a retractable leash. Your best bet is to just stick with our traditional regular lead. Number 3, speaking of leashes, don't pull back on your dog's leash. A lot of people make this mistake. Many pet owners instinctively pull back on the leash when their dog pulls, or if their dog's trying to go one way and the owner wants to go the other, they'll just yank on the leash to get their dog to turn and go the way that they want them to. If you found yourself doing this, you need to stop immediately. Most people don't realize this, but dogs have hypoid bones that hold their tongues and larynx in place. Yanking on the leash could fracture or break those bones. It could even fracture your dog's neck. Not to mention, it's just really uncomfortable, and even if you don't do any major damage, it pulls on your dog's throat and causes him a lot of pain and discomfort. Number 4, and a lot of pet owners do this, I can say that I was guilty of this for a very long time, do not neglect your dog's dental health. It's not something that we think about all the time, but it's really something that we all need to take into consideration. Don't neglect your dog's dental health. Only about 2% of pet owners take care of their dog's teeth every day. Periodontal disease is one of the most common health conditions seen by veterinarians, and it's sadly also one of the most preventable. So what that means is it's seen all the time and it's so easy to stop at. So all you have to do is pay attention to your dog's dental health. Again, the link below this video has tons of resources if you're wondering how to brush your dog's teeth, what supplies are out there. There are different things you can add into their water. There are chews that you can use to help clean their teeth. There's a lot of things you can do to help with your dog's dental health. So don't skimp on that anymore. Poor dental hygiene in dogs can lead to destruction and loss of the gum tissue and the bone around the teeth. Fistulas, which are holes leading from your dog's mouth cavity up into their nasal cavity. Bone infections, bacteria entering the bloodstream through the mouth, which could damage your dog's heart, liver, kidneys. It's actually a really serious thing that needs to be taken into consideration every day for your dog's overall health and well-being. Number 5, and I'm gonna try to stick to my script on this one and not go off on a tangent. If you follow my videos and my articles on Top Dog Tips, you know that one of my biggest talking points, one of the things that I'm really passionate about is overweight dogs and overfeeding your pets. So number 5 on my list, do not overfeed your dog. Many pet owners make the mistake of overfeeding. Most dogs are naturally gluttonous and they'll eat just about anything you feed them. Many pet owners also think that feeding their dog makes them happy. It makes me happy to give my dog a treat and see him happy. You think it makes your dog happy to have the food, and it might do that, but there are lots of other ways to make your dog happy. Overfeeding your dog will lead to obesity. People think, you know, it's just a treat here and there, it's just an extra snack here and there. It's not. It will lead to obesity over time. If you're overfeeding by a lot, it's not gonna take very long. If you're just overfeeding a little bit, those extra calories will add up and your dog will gain unnecessary weight over time. Again, obesity is one of the most commonly seen issues by veterinarians. It is an epidemic in the United States, overweight pets. Veterinarians, experts in the industry preach about this all the time. It's seen all the time and it's so easily preventable. It is important to keep your dog fit and trim for his overall well-being. Being overweight can lead to serious health problems, including diabetes, heart disease. It can end up shortening your pet's lifespan. It will end up shortening your pet's lifespan. No matter what, being obese is directly linked to a shorter lifespan. So pay close attention to the serving size on your dog's food and treats. Use positive reinforcements and toys to make your dogs happy and reward them for good behavior. If you're training your dog, use praise, use toys. Don't overfeed your pets. Attention and love is gonna make your dog happier than any treat would any day of the week. So give your dog a lot of praise and affection instead of overfeeding. Number 6 on my list is do not underestimate your dog's emotions. I hear that all the time. Dogs don't have feelings. Dogs do have feelings. Research has been done. Studies have proven that dogs have feelings. So again, if you don't believe me, click the link below the video and that research is there. Lots of research has been done on this topic. If you yell at your dog, it will make him sad and scared. Dogs can get depressed when they're left alone, when there's a change in their environment, if they lose a family member, furry or human. Dogs can suffer from stress and anxiety. Paying attention to your dog's emotions is extremely important. If you notice any behavior changes or you think your dog's struggling emotionally, reach out to your vet and ask for a consultation. They can help you think of some things that might have changed, what might be causing the issue, and help you, guide you in a way so that you can help your dog feel better emotionally, because emotional and mental health is just as important as your dog's physical well-being. Okay, this next one is a big one that I see this time of year. Do not overdress your dogs. Dogs would not dress up if they had the choice. We all know that. Some clothing helps dogs deal with weather elements like boots or jackets, but overdressing them can cause them to be uncomfortable, overheat, or could even cause pain. Certain breeds that have thick, warm coats may not even need to wear clothing at all. Boots are usually a good idea for most breeds, but not for every dog. So know your dog, know what they need, talk to a professional groomer or your veterinarian if you have questions. Even if you think your dog looks cute, if your dog isn't comfortable, then you should not dress him in clothes. I hear that all the time. Oh, but he's so cute. When you can tell the dog is miserable dressed in a certain outfit. If you do decide that clothing is a good choice for your pet, measure your dog properly and buy clothing that fits well. Clothing that's too loose could get wrapped around your pet's limbs and it could cut off circulation or cause chafing and lacerations. Clothing that's too tight can do the same thing. It can cause chafing, it can cause lacerations, it can cause discomfort, and it's gonna restrict your pet's range of motion in their shoulder areas and around their legs. So be sure that you're measuring properly and you're fitting your dog with clothing that is designed for their body type and that also is the proper size for them. And finally, this one seems like a no-brainer, but yet people do it all the time. Do not smoke around your dog. A lot of people, I hear it all the time when I tell people that they shouldn't smoke around their dog. Dogs are like children. If you wouldn't smoke with a small child around you, why would you smoke with a dog around you? Secondhand smoke isn't just bad for humans, it's detrimental to a dog's health too. In this day and age, everyone knows the dangers of smoking. If you choose to subject yourself to those dangers, that's your choice. But if you smoke around your dog, he has no choice. He has no way to get away from it. A dog's sense of smell is extremely powerful, 10,000 times more powerful than a human smell. So your dog probably hates the smell of smoke. It's probably extremely bothersome to him where his sense of smell is so powerful. But again, if you're blowing out secondhand smoke around your dog, whether it's in a vehicle or in your house, your dog doesn't have a choice. He can't get away from that. He has to live in a house with secondhand smoke or ride in a vehicle with secondhand smoke. Dogs exposed to secondhand smoke have more eye infections, allergies, or respiratory issues than other dogs. They're also more likely to suffer from certain kinds of cancer, including lung cancer and nasal cancer. So it's a really imperative, if you smoke, don't smoke around your dog. Don't smoke indoors where your dog has to live, because even if your dog's not inside while you're smoking, that smoke is sinking into furniture, walls, carpeting, and that secondhand smoke and all of those dangers are still present.